Hi, this is Ariella Carmel at Calcalist's Mind the Tech conference in New York. I'm joined by Eyal Bino, the founding partner at 97212 Ventures. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So can you start off by telling me a bit about 97212?
Yeah, so 97212 Ventures, first of all, the name stems from who I am, which is half Israeli, half New Yorker. So 972 is the country code for Israel, 212 is New York City area code. So the combination is 97212. We're a seed fund based in New York, fully focused on investing in Israeli pre-seed and seed startups, looking to expand to the US market with a specific focus on the New York market. Helping them tap into early customers, the venture scene here, and truly trying to kind of close the gap and help them move from 0 to 1 as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Do you have any areas of focus within that sphere?
Yeah, so we look at the world in kind of 3 buckets. One is enterprise software, so B2B software, AI, ML, Gen AI, all the kind of buzzwords that Israeli founders are really good at. Then we have kind of a big focus on healthcare, and we see healthcare is changing as we see it over the past few years and over the next few years, and that includes digital health and bio. And the last area for us, which might be a little bit different, is digital transformation. So those are industries like fintech, prop tech, where traditionally people did business on a pen and paper or using Excel, and they need to modernize and become more digital. So far, we've invested in 16 startups. Half of them are pre-seed, half of them are seed. Many of them already raised follow-on rounds, and we're very bullish on Israel and New York as well.
Very cool. Now, can you speak a bit to the New York-Israel tech corridor and what that scene looks like, especially in the wake of October 7th?
Yeah, so let's just take a step back. Traditionally, Israeli founders and Israeli startups went to the Valley. This was where the big money was. I'd say in 2010, 2011, it kind of started to shift and change. Much more capital going into New York City. Like you can see, probably over 300 funds based in New York, with about 70 to 80% of them focused on seed and A. And then you look at the growth of Israeli startups, right? So Taboola, Outbrain, Kaltura, some of the most successful startups are being built here in New York by Israeli founders, employing hundreds of employees, New Yorkers and Israelis. And I think that brand that Israeli startups have developed over the last probably 10 years has been absolutely amazing and beautiful to see. And I feel I'm very fortunate to be kind of having a front row seat in this ecosystem. Fast forward, I think what we're seeing post October 7th is, I'm not telling anything new by the resiliency of Israeli founders and startups who just adjusted pretty quickly to the new reality, which I don't think anyone expected or anticipated. I think on the venture scene, I think it's difficult, right? So I think if you're like you don't have an office in Israel, you're not Jewish, the level of risk is so much higher right now. So of course you're very impressed with Israeli founders. You'd like to have either that partner that you know very well, and we hope to be one of those partners, or that the founders are here and they have an office here. So I think a lot of it is trying to be, focused on building that reputation, that relationship with other funds, with customers, trying to be in the market, which obviously now is even more difficult for companies who don't have a base here and trying to move here and do business either via Zoom or on the line coming between Israel and New York.
Now, what do you think the seed stage ecosystem looks like in Israel right now? What are you noticing?
It's pretty interesting. I mean, first of all, it's been very difficult to be an Israeli founder over the last 4 or 5 years. You start with COVID, right? You have to shift your company to work from home. Everyone needs to be, moving to basically Zoom, right? Then you go into 2023. We kind of went through the up and down, right? So 2023, you look at the judicial reform and what kind of impact he had on the ecosystem. And I'd say that 2023 probably was one of the slowest years that I remember. A lot of the focus of VCs, I think, was elsewhere. And now, I think what happened in the end of 2023 is that VCs have said, hey, we're here to support the Israeli tech scene. We're here to stay. We're not going to give up or give in on the Israeli, tech founder. And what I'm seeing right now is better quality of founders. Maybe there's less startups, but the founders are much more baked. They know where they're going. They're not gonna jump, into this like journey without knowing exactly where they're gonna go. So for me, this is really exciting. In January, we made a couple of investments already, and just last week I came back from Israel, and 3 of our companies got term sheets for follow-on rounds. So I'm seeing much more activity than I saw in 2023, and obviously we're pretty bullish on Israeli startups, and we're looking to do more of this.
And are there any particular sectors within the Israeli ecosystem that you're interested in and moving forward?
Yes, I think Israeli founders are big on data infrastructure, cyber. I think those are really, interesting, spaces to be in. What I'm seeing right now is the evolution of Gen AI and LLMs, and for example, and how they impact defense tech, which I'm seeing more of now. I'm actually seeing some really interesting innovation in government tech, right? Like areas that traditionally have been out of innovation completely and now are much more open to accepting innovation. I think the challenge of Israeli founders is, I don't even know how to sell into like Israeli government. How am I going to sell to the U.S. government, right? So I think this is exciting for me. I think also on the healthcare side, we're seeing some very exciting innovation in bio and digital health, whether it's remote patient monitoring or the evolution of healthcare within ER or within hospitals. So it's been pretty exciting for us to watch. And, I think outside of that, Israel is always going to be a great hub for kind of deep tech and enterprise tech.
Okay, well, on that note, we're going to close the conversation, but thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks so much, and look forward to working together with many more founders in the next couple of years.